Hello there, and thank you very much for joining us. This is WION World is One. We are glad you're watching. I'm Eric Njoka, and Sonia is our sign language interpreter. Time now for news-making headlines across the globe on Speed News. China has launched military drills around Taiwan. Beijing has described the drills as a serious warning against Taiwan's independence. This is seen as response to Taiwanese president or vice president's recent visits to the United States. China's People's Liberation Army has said that it is carrying out joint naval and air combat readiness patrols around the island. It has said the joint exercises of Navy and Air Forces are to test their quote-unquote actual combat capabilities. Taiwan has strongly condemned these drills and termed them irrational and provocative. Johannesburg is all set to host the 2023 annual BRICS Summit as world leaders from 5 emerging global economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and this year's host nation, South Africa, prepare to meet and discuss a plethora of common goals and issues. A press release from the Indian Ministry of External Affairs has confirmed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's itinerary for the event. The Indian Prime Minister will attend the 15th edition of the summit, scheduled to be held in Johannesburg from August 22nd to 24th. The West African regional bloc, ECOWAS, has agreed to an undisclosed date for an armed intervention in Niger. This follows multiple warnings by the bloc to Niger's junta to reinstate the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. Defense chiefs of the bloc met for 2 days to fine-tune the details of a potential military operation to restore Bazoum. However, an ECOWAS commissioner, Abdel Fattah Musa, has said, and I quote, "The ball is still in the court of the junta." Keeping the doors for diplomacy open, the 15-member bloc has urged Niger's junta to come to the negotiation table. Meanwhile, ECOWAS has chalked out a standby force as a last resort to restore democracy in Niger. US President Joe Biden hosted his South Korean counterpart Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida at the presidential retreat Camp David. The Trilateral Summit is the first formal meeting between the three nations. The meeting comes amid high geopolitical tensions. All the nations share same concerns, especially on threats from North Korea and an assertive China. These threats have prompted an increased cooperation between the three leaders, which they have hailed and termed as a new era in their ties. Leaders have agreed to make the summit an annual affair going forward. Russia has announced sanctions on 54 people, including the International Criminal Court prosecutor, who is seeking the arrest of President Vladimir Putin. The list of people includes Britain's Minister of State for Defence, Annabel Goldie, as well as British journalists from the BBC, The Guardian and the Daily Telegraph. The sanctions come after the Russian Foreign Ministry alleged unwavering military support from London to Kyiv and denounced the aggressive implementation of a hostile anti-Russian policy. This comes after almost a year and a half of conflict in Ukraine. A British nurse has been found guilty of murdering 7 newborn babies and trying to kill 6 others at a hospital's neonatal unit where she worked. Nurse Lucy Letby injected her sick and premature young victims with air, overfed them with milk and poisoned them with insulin. 33-year-old nurse Letby was on trial since October last year. She was arrested following a string of baby deaths at the Countess of Chester Hospital in northwest England between June 2015 and June 2016. Letby had repeatedly denied harming the children The prosecution described her as a calculating woman who used methods of killing that did not leave much of a trace.
Take a seat in there for me, Lucy. I'll move that seat forward a bit.
Meanwhile, in Peru, police have rescued 3 children victims of sexual exploitation. The children are 16, 10 and 8 years old. 2 men accused of abusing and exploiting them have been arrested. Now, according to local media, they were half-brothers of the victims. Commander at Peru's Criminal Investigation Division has said the child pornography made by the detainees was being distributed to the United States via digital platforms. The children have been placed in the care of relevant government agencies. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called on the group of 20 nations to build consensus on the G20 high-level principles for a secure, trusted and resilient digital economy. He made the remarks at G20 Digital Economy Ministers meeting in the southern state of Karnataka. The Prime Minister said as the digital economy spreads globally, it will face security threats and challenges. He added that the nations have a unique opportunity to lay the foundations of an inclusive, prosperous and secure global digital future. India is scheduled to hold the G20 Summit in New Delhi on September 9th and 10th this year. As the death toll in Maui wildfires rises to 114, Hawaii Governor Josh Green has said that the city of Lahaina will rise again. But citizens worry he is moving too quickly to rebuild what was lost while the grief is still raw. They called on Green to give residents time to grieve and provide community leaders with recovery decision-making roles. The raging wildfires have claimed at least 114 lives so far, and Lahaina has been affected most drastically. Canada's western province of British Columbia declared a state of emergency on Friday as firefighters battled wildfires raging in the hills and mountains above the town of West Kelowna, forcing thousands of evacuations. The flames and smoke were visible from West Kelowna, and smoke filled the valley surrounding the lake. Earlier, the airspace in the area had been closed to clear the way for water bombers. Los Angeles officials have warned residents to prepare early for the approach of Hurricane Hilary, the first such storm to menace Southern California since 1939. The National Hurricane Center expects the powerful storm to near Mexico's popular Cabo San Lucas resort city by late on Friday this week. However, it is expected to weaken before hitting the U.S. West Coast this weekend, nevertheless bringing dangerous rains. As temperatures around the globe continue to rise, scientists have suggested that time-traveling pathogens unleashed by thawing of the Arctic permafrost may pose a risk to modern ecosystems. Permafrost is a hard layer of frozen ground made of soil, sand and rocks in high altitude and high latitude areas such as Greenland, Alaska, Siberia or northern Canada. This icy layer traps microbes that remain dormant for long periods of time, but a warming planet could create conditions suitable for these pathogens to return from the past. In Japan, firms are tapping into a growing market for products to help people handle the summer heat. Firms are selling jackets with built-in fans, neck coolers and t-shirts that feel cold. The mechanism is simple. Palm-sized fans powered by a rechargeable battery are fitted into the back of the jacket. This comes as Japan, like is experiencing hottest summers. This July was the warmest in a century, with at least 53 people dying of heat stroke and almost 50,000 needing emergency medical attention. A black, huge statue of an emaciated winged figure with golden fangs and scarlet talons glares down on Bangkok's busy streets. Bangkok authorities have ordered an investigation after the 5-meter-tall statue was installed earlier this month outside the 4-star Bazaar Hotel. The new figure, regarded by some as god of wealth, but by others as alien to Buddhism and even sacrilegious, is causing controversy. Paleontologists believe that a fossil found in Brazil might be the key to understanding the precursors of dinosaurs. The fossil of an animal was found by Brazilian paleontologist Rodrigo Muller in the central part of the Rio Grande do Sul state. Muller said the fossil gives a glimpse into what the faces and even bodies of dinosaur precursors looked like for the first time. Experts believe the prehistoric animal was 1 meter long and lived 230 million years ago. The 2023 Pet Fair Asia has kicked off in Shanghai. The exhibition is the largest of its kind in the continent. It shows the consumer power of China's expanding class of young, tech-savvy pet owners. Pet products are a multi-billion-dollar industry in China. A plethora of luxury and sophisticated gadgets are on display at the show, from ball gowns to robot companions to AI-powered health monitoring wearables. The growth can be attributed to soaring pet ownership in China, which reached nearly 100 million households in 2022. And China's display of technological advancement has also found its way to Beijing at the World Robotics Expo 2023. The conference exhibits cutting-edge robotic products and highlights China's vitality in the robotics industry. It gives a glimpse into the prospects for high-end technologies across fields including healthcare, entertainment, and industry. The event showcases nearly 600 exhibits from 160 exhibitors from around the world, of which 60 new products are having their world premieres. There is a wide range of equipment on show with potential applications. Elon Musk-owned SpaceX's surging revenue helped it turn a small profit in the first quarter of 2023 after 2 annual losses. At least that's what the Wall Street Journal is reporting. The company reportedly generated $55 million in profits on $1.5 billion in revenue during the January to March period. A report published by the Economic Times suggests there may be more backers for Adani and his power business. The report claims Abu Dhabi National Energy Company is evaluating an investment of up to $2.5 billion in the Indian billionaire's power business. Earlier this week, US-based boutique investment firm GQG Partners also invested $1.1 billion in Adani Power to pick up an 8.1% stake in the company. Reports suggest UBS Group is planning to rebuild its team in India as it prepares to create more products to compete for managing the wealth of rich Indians. The bank, which returned to the private wealth market with its rescue takeover of Credit Suisse 2 months ago, plans to add at least 7 relationship managers to bring its total advisory strength in India to about 25. UBS is among the many global firms that is increasing its bets on India and its rising global influence. China's economic landscape is witnessing a challenging blend of rising inflation and vegetable price shocks. The Reserve Bank of India's recent bulletin highlights the risk of stagflation as prices surge. Although the probability remains low at 3%, July saw annual retail inflation spike to a 15-month high of 7.44%, driven by soaring vegetable and cereal prices. Tomato prices took center stage, leading to a ripple effect on other vegetables. As the nation grapples with inflation concerns, the central bank's measures aim to manage liquidity overflow and potential financial stability risks. U.S. authorities are turning their attention to electric vehicle components in a bid to stamp out forced labor links in Chinese supply chains. The focus has expanded beyond solar panels and apparel, as imports like lithium-ion batteries, tires, aluminium, and steel face increased scrutiny. This move, part of enforcing the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, aims to ensure products are free from ties to regions with reported labor camps. The impact, detentions of automotive and aerospace shipments have surged. With major automakers under watch and solar projects hindered, the clean energy transition faces very many challenges going forward. Texas has set its sights on electrifying highways by requiring companies to include Tesla's technology in EV charging stations for federal funds. This step signals a shift towards Tesla's charging standard as a U.S. norm. While some states embrace the change, others are treading cautiously. Notably, Ford and GM's endorsement of Tesla's North American charging standard earlier ignited industry-wide shifts. Texas, the top recipient of a $5 billion highway electrification program, takes center stage in this electrifying saga. Charging companies expressed concerns delaying Texas' decision, but ultimately the state unanimously approved the Tesla tech inclusion. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.